Good morning and welcome back. It is the first post-pilot episode of the Dror Show, and with me I have a very special guest. If you don't know Jay Sands, well, within 10 years everyone's going to know his name, because this guy, he joined university, then realized what he should be doing is building a business, and that's exactly what he's done. Let's jump right in. Jay, good morning. Thank you for joining me in the studio. I alluded to your story very briefly in my intro. Why don't you tell us about it? How did you find your journey from starting off as a teenager to where you are now, director of multiple events businesses?
Okay, so it started very early on. I started off probably at the age of about 10, realising that I had kind of an excitement inside me that really wanted to do something to do with entertainment and things of that nature. So at the age of 10, I was doing kids' parties. So that was everything from DJing, magic, balloons, that sort of stuff, which very quickly rolled into obviously the DJing quite heavily side of it as well. So I could do, of a weekend, I could do 11 till 1 in the morning, and then a 3 till 5 slot for a kids party, and then in the evening do an evening event, whether that was DJing or something to do with that. Also had a very heavy interest in magic as well, so that was something that really my entertainment was kind of in my blood in that nature as well. I had family in the entertainment business, but I think it was all about taking that direction of what I wanted to do, and kind of using that to fuel what is what I do today as well. I still think that magic has a very big part in what I do, as well as obviously the DJing, which is predominantly something that's very heavily featured in what I do as well.
Let me pick up on that for a second. We'll jump back into your journey. You talk about magic as part of what you do, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, you're going to talk to us about building an experience. Am I on the right track?
You are along the right track.
Tell me about it, because I love this concept.
Fine. So, look, when I was 13 years old, I was part of the Magic Circle. So I was very, very heavily into card magic and things of that nature, as well as big stage illusions. And really, I think the thing that fueled it for me was the reaction that you get from someone, not just having, oh, that's cool. It's you need something more than that, and that's something that I like to feature in my events, and what I do today as well. So when it comes to designing an event, rather than just giving them this is a DJ package, my way of doing it is going to them and going, look, what are you into? What are you, what do you see your event being? What, how do you perceive? And I think that's a lot of the events that I am creating currently at the moment, and stuff that I've done in the past as well, has been fueled by people's comments, and reactions to that sort of question. So we did, for instance, we had someone who came up to me and goes, we want a magic themed event. And obviously my brain starts going of that nature, and I'm like, what is it about magic that you like? And they gave me a very similar answer to the one that I gave, in the thing of, they like the element of the reaction that they're going to get from someone. So we designed this whole kind of concept about walking into an enchanted wonderland in essence, and being taken on a journey through the forest, and then the big reveal of the main room sort of thing, and things happening throughout the evening that were going to spark that emotion amongst the guests that they wanted. And I think it is an emotions game. It's almost, people want to feel uncomfortable for a moment. It's that sort of thing of, that discomfort in essence sparks something inside them that they get excited about.
Sparking that excitement, that emotion. It's something I speak about quite a lot in marketing, in events, in a lot of terms. And if you've heard me speak about this before, you're probably sick of it by now. And I'm going to be speaking about it later today with someone else I've got coming into the studio. But it's what I call the Disneyland Effect. People use the term Disneyland Effect to mean a few different things. To me, it's the concept of the difference between Disneyland and Thorpe Park. Thorpe Park, you go in, you can get a Costa coffee, you can get a Ben & Jerry's ice cream. Disneyland, you go in, and everything is Disneyland. The coffee is Mickey Mouse coffee, and the ice cream is Minnie Mouse ice cream, and your waiter is a princess, and the person... I've heard all these rumors about how, you'll never see someone emptying the trash because they do it underground, all part of this building an experience, that everything you walk through is part of this wondrous experience that it's designed to make. It's aimed mainly at children, but it works on adults as well, that we're enchanted by its surrounding us completely. And I often speak to people in marketing about how they can create the best user experience, whether UX is often a term used in the digital world, But then also in the physical world, of when we bring people into our shop or our store, if we're doing trade shows and that sort of thing, creating that amazing customer experience to help them buy. So it's really interesting to see how you, as an events director, kind of doing event design and planning, use the same concept for the guests.
Yeah, and I think that couldn't be more spot on. I mean, there's a thing that I'm really excited about at the moment, for instance, with Disney, where they've done a whole documentary about what happens behind the scenes.
I'm looking forward to this.
And that's something that I'm very, very excited about, because it's not, yes, it's the underlying thing. You walk in and it's, okay, this is cool, but it's even down to things like character, pathways underneath the ground and things like that. It's because they don't want to ruin that experience. And I think once again it comes down to the overall experience of walking in and going, it's not just a coffee, it's not just a pathway, you are entering a land and I think that is something that they've got so spot on. But it's even down to every single detail to do with it. It's not just there's the Disney logo.
Right, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but also for events people such as yourselves, from what I remember back in my time in events, we're doing a lot of this kind of fixing so that no one should ever know.
Yeah.
It's the idea of something's gone wrong, but we're going to cover it up completely so that everyone has their perfect experience.
Yeah, I mean, look, I always say as well, it comes down to the planning. Fail to prepare, prepare to fail, that kind of saying is, it all does come down. If you've really, really got it down and every single aspect, you know what I mean, in terms of that sort of thing, you won't have a problem. But if something does arise, you've almost pre-thought about how you're going to sort that thing.
Right, 100%. There should be no problems, but there always exists the possibility, and often problems will arise. And it's just how we how we find a solution on the spot, on the fly, without breaking anyone else's experience.
It's the illusion.
It's the illusion. Let's jump back to your journey. So your teenage years, bit of DJing, started with kids parties, Magic Circle. Talk to me about when you're sort of around 18 years old. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did you take a gap year after school or anything?
No. So actually I did. So I was, at secondary school. So that's predominantly where the career started, but it was very much to do with doing things within the school, lighting, sound, staging, things of that nature, and then went to started sixth form, and just decided I'm not an academic person in the slightest. There was no one else in the school that could teach me further my education in what I wanted to learn about. So I just took it upon myself to really develop the business in that respect. So I was working all throughout that. 6 months later, dropped out of sixth form, decided it was not for me. Joined a theatre school called Chicken Shed, which is an inclusive theatre school. So I did everything from being on stage to everything that happens behind the scenes, creating shows, things of that nature. And then that's all. I think they're the in brief, they're the things that have really, aided me and pushed me to do what I, do today. But yeah, I mean, I did Chicken Shed for 2 years and I'm here today.
Okay, so talk to me now, DJay Events, love the pun. Let's talk to it from a brand perspective. So how did it serve you well? And we're going to be delaying the release of this show to be able to talk about your new rebrand. We're not going to address it directly so that we can release it if we want to. But talk to me about how DJay Events has brought you till now, and then we'll go on to why you're moving on from DJay Events.
Fine. So, I mean, in obvious words, my name's Jay. So it just kind of felt
Sorry,
natural.
I never got that.
No, neither. But it's one of those things, I've kind of had the name in some way, shape or form. I think it started off as like DJay Event Services, which is a very...
It's a bit long.
Mechanical, you know what I mean, in that respect. So, I mean, DJay Event Services, I've had that since I was like 12, 13, and tend to keep using, I was known as DJ, the children's entertainer, DJ, the event planner, that sort of thing.
But the kids party guy, the bar and bat mitzvah guy.
Whatever the hat I was wearing on the day sort of thing. But I think it's got to the point now where I like to think I do so much more than just the DJing side of things. In the way that I like to, without using the words take control, but use the words, I like to develop the ideas, be a very heavy part of someone's big day. You only get one big day, one wedding, hopefully, in your life sort of thing. It's that sort of concept is, you don't want to mess it up, and it's about developing it, meeting with people, having that one-on-one, relationship and things like that, and developing these ideas. And I think DJay Event Services was, served its purpose. DJay Events has now, I've kind of got to the point where it's like, I'm more than just a DJ, and I think that's what people still associate me with. Hence why, I've kind of gone, let's do it. Let's rebrand. Let's, really knuckle down and get the points across about what we do. I think something that's very important about what we do compared to a lot of, other event planners and things of that nature. A lot of the things going on to the events are things that, as a company we own. So we do, production, lighting, sound, that sort of stuff. I have a lot of that sort of stuff that I own and do that sort of stuff in-house. I like to, really push on that and say to people, look, come down, check out what we do. I've had clients come down and check out mid-build. Actually check out their event in the building, and the process of what we're doing.
So this is something you speak about quite a lot, how you own a lot of equipment. You have your warehouse, you have your own vans, and I still need to come down for it. How important has it been for you to buy and to do things in-house? Because I know there are a lot of companies talk about bands and DJs who will say, yeah, I'll handle your production, and then they're hiring someone like you, whereas you can be the DJ and everything, or even if you're not DJing, but your company will be providing the entertainment, and you're actually doing it in-house with your own gear. What made you take that decision to go down that route, and how has it affected your business?
Yeah, no, look, I mean, don't get me wrong. On every event, you're always going to be working with various different suppliers and things like that, So typically, when it comes to, lighting, sound, things of that nature, it's something that I've grown up doing. My background is in theatre, lighting, sound, staging. So it's something that I enjoy doing, as well as, I just like owning kit and things like that. And just, playing around, so even down to, we'll go down to, our warehouse, we'll start putting, getting lights out, have fun with things like that. And I think that has really aided me in the fact that I can try new things. It's not just this is what I know and this is how, I'm going to go about doing it for the rest of my life. It's really about developing, working with other people, getting other people's ideas and using, what I have in-house, but also guys that I work with very closely and, really aiding each other and pushing each other a little bit every single event. And I think that's something that I get excited by, and I hope my clients see that and get excited by it as well.
I remember I called you up. I was with a client of mine overseas. I'd gone into their office to help them plan out a trade show, and we called you, and I kind of put you on the spot and gave you the rough ideas, and you just went, yeah, we could do this and we could do this, and then you put together this whole brief, which you just showed me before, which was absolutely incredible. So it's really interesting to see. Do you think passion is important in business? Because a lot of people, I think, to me, overemphasize it. So what sort of role does passion actually play for you?
I mean, look, people are always going to buy from people. And I think that's one thing that I really take, it's always in the back of my mind. When I go and meet people, I like it to be me. Yes, I have various different people that work with me and assist me on events and things like that. But, I will make sure that I am the person to go and meet with the client. And they can see how excited I get about their event. I want them to feel, you know what I mean? I want them to feel like, they're as excited to work with me as I am with them. And I think that's something that I really, I love showing my passion, love showing, the ideas, coming out with things that maybe people haven't thought about, really creating, once again, that experience. But it's more than just the event day. It's everything leading up to it and following from it as well.
Okay, last question before we dive into what I really want to get onto, which is your business development. You kind of divided now into, you were explaining to me the other week, 3 product areas, as I described them. Can you talk to us about, explain what they are, but then more why? Why have you chosen to narrow into 3 areas?
Okay, so I mean, look, we typically like to, narrow it down to event production, event design, and entertainment. Okay. Purely for the reason that, once again, this was still in the stages of DJay Events, but almost trying to branch out a little bit. And once again, owning what we do and things like that, it just kind of gives, a bit more flexibility when trying to explain to someone what we do. We're not just DJs. We focus on these three,
Do you find that explaining it in that way helps clients understand it more?
Yeah. I mean, look, I like people asking questions, and you know what I mean? I like explaining it, but in brief, I think that is something that's very important, is being able to, pick up the phone, someone going, we're looking for a DJ. Fine. We can help you with that. But we also, as a company, as a business, these are the three things that we typically say to our clients. Look, if you need any help with, please let us know.
Right.
My phrase is, use me as much or as little as you want, as you want to. You've booked me to DJ, you've booked me to do this, you know what I mean? Let us know if there's anything else we can help with.
Anything you can help with, any questions you can answer, even outside your area. And I love that. I love when people go above and beyond and say, you know what, if you have a problem, if you want advice about, okay, I'm in the DJing, but I've made running orders before, or I've seen running orders before. If you want just a quick question, send me a WhatsApp, because it's all about, again, as we were going to before, that customer experience of we're there for you, the people buying from people. Love that. Let's talk about how you've done your biz dev, your marketing and your sales. What for you is the main source of your growth?
I mean, look, in the events world, it's always going to be, once again, people buying from people. People are always, word of mouth is still the strongest thing, in what I do as well, because I want people to share, experiences, once again, sharing the stories and the things that they've, number one, picked up from their journey working with me. But I think, I would always say word of mouth is the most powerful. Having, a presence online in some way, shape or form is always going to aid you, for external people, saying, look, go and speak to Jay, this is what he does. But having, a platform to share that with is always going to be, you might get the odd, client, through social media and things like that. But predominantly for what I do, is very much about people buying from people.
Okay, and talk to me now about FNK, your new band. So you've kept this is kind of a new business, which is separate from DJay Events and the new DJay Events. I can't say the name.
Yeah.
Why have you chosen to make it separate?
I think, look, the thing is working with a lot of people in the industry, I think it all comes down to the phrase, my part. You know what I mean? In terms of, this is what I do. Once again, yes, as a company, we can help you in entertainment production, event design, and entertainment is something that is a big part of our business. But FNK as a whole is a brand new concept. It's very much for me as well, being able to share my passion for music in that way, but also saying, look, this is a band. This is a brand new you know what I mean, in terms of, this is a brand new fresh energy that we're going to bring to your your event. And we're not interested necessarily in the other parts of your event. We understand people have event planners, they have, their own production companies and things like that they want to work with. We can assist if you need us to.
So are you going to be on stage performing?
I'm not. We've designed it in a way that it's got my essence, but you know what I mean, in terms of, it's just a fresh, we've put together these fantastic musicians from all over the world. It's me and my business partner, and we've really, you know what I mean, it's just all about sharing, having a little part of me somewhere else, but getting the overall experience once again as well.
Okay, talk to the camera for a second, not me. What advice would you give to someone young starting a business and hoping to make it big?
I think, I've always said that, even down to parents and carers and whoever you live with, they might say one thing, but do what feels right for you. I'm not saying completely ignore them, but in the respect of, if this is something that you really see yourself doing, this is something that you get excited about, take a few, couple of hours a day and start working towards your goal, and really, focusing on the direction that you want to head in.
You're talking about direction. How important is vision to you in a business? I
mean, I think it's something that's very important, even down to writing things down. I'm still pen and paper. As much as digital comes into it for me, I very much like having a notebook in front of me, because it's all about working towards that. I like the physical aspect of ticking something off. And I think, if you've got, say, a business plan and you've written down all the things that you want to do and want to achieve, then you just, one by one, tick those things off the list little by little, you know, hack at it every day a little bit, and, you know, you start making progress. You know, it's like that 1% improvement every day.
Right. Do you have 5-year, 10-year plans and that sort of thing?
I mean, yeah, I do. I mean, I know definitely the direction that I want to be heading in, but I think it's all about, you know, developing every day. You know, even down to a 5 and 10-year plan, I will always be adding day by day to, you know, the little aspects of what I want to achieve. But yeah, no, I get excited about what I do. You know, it's always about, you know, focusing on the things that are current, you know, in terms of just bringing those new aspects in there, and keeping it, you know, for the next generation as well.
Amazing. Jay, you've been absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for coming down. Guys, if you are watching on social media, please leave a comment down below. Tag anyone you think this might be relevant to. If you're with us on Spotify, Apple Music, or wherever you get your podcasts, you can get in touch with me and with Jay. I'm at dror.w on Instagram. You can find me on LinkedIn, Dror Wayne. I'm currently accepting pretty much any connection, unless you're just trying to sell me something. You can send me an email, dw@drorwayne.com. And thank you for listening. Jay, give us your contact details, will you?
So yeah, check me out on Instagram at jaybensands. That's JayBensands. Same on Facebook, same on LinkedIn. So, you know, happy just to have a chat, really.
Thank you for coming down, mate. Come on, bring it in.
Thank you.